You only have $100. In the speed of the modern world, that amount is small enough to disappear on a weekend dinner, a taxi, and a coffee before you even realize what you spent it on. In many parts of the world, that $100 feels almost tragicomic as the starting point for building wealth, nearly like an insult. Our minds usually trap us in the same illusion. Wealth begins one day with a bonus that falls from the sky, a huge inheritance from a relative you barely knew, or a large amount of capital that finally lands in your hands when that perfect moment arrives. But today, I'm going to give you one of the best-kept secrets in the financial universe. That $100, in the right hands, in a patient mind, and under strategic discipline, can become the first and most important brick of an empire that may one day make it possible for you to never truly need to work again. This is not a blind luck story. In this 6-level journey we're about to take together, you will feel, deep in your bones, how that insignificant money in your pocket can turn into a massive time machine. But I should warn you, this journey is not as easy as it looks. You will have to pass through those dark, silent zones where almost everyone gets eliminated, where money feels like it is mocking you. The numbers suggest that most of you will quit before you even reach level 2. But for those who crack open the door to level 6, the world will never look the same again. And the number waiting on the other side of that door is beyond anything you can imagine right now. If you want more content like this, like the video and subscribe. And if you're ready to switch on the time machine, we're making the first transfer and sending that $100 into the infinite. Level 1. The invisible beginning. Months 1 to 12. You made the decision. Your phone is in your hand. Despite that skeptical voice inside your head, you hit confirm and sent that $100 into a high-quality index fund. Maybe even into a basket that includes technology companies building the future of the world. And that big explosion you were expecting never happened. You check your account. The $100 is just sitting there, almost sadly. The market moves a little. One morning, your $100 drops to $99.70. The next day, it becomes $101. That number you excitedly check before bed gives you nothing but disappointment, and the question, what am I even doing? This is the insult stage of investing. It is that barren, silent stretch where you cannot see the return for your effort, your discipline, and your sacrifice in the numbers. 6 months go by. Every month, you gave up one lunch outside and kept feeding that $100 into the system, like you were watering a plant you weren't even sure was alive. Your balance is around $600. That number cannot buy the car you dream about. It cannot buy a prestige vacation. While the people around you are spending their money on the newest phones, flashy dinners, and clothes that will be outdated in months, you are trying to grow a quiet, lifeless number inside a mobile app. This is where weak minds get eliminated, because the human brain is wired for immediate reward. By the end of the first year, you've invested a total of $1,200, and if you're lucky, your account shows around $1,350. That extra $150 doesn't feel like a success story, does it? But here's what you don't know yet. At this stage, you are not really making a financial investment. You are building the discipline muscle that will serve you for the rest of your life. You are in those first brutal workouts where the mirror still shows nothing, but inside, the fibers are already turning to steel. So when does this invisibility end? When is the first moment your money starts whispering back to you? The answer is hidden in level 2. But to get there, patience alone won't be enough. You'll have to stand firm against the market's anger. Level 2. Identity transformation and the first big test. Years 2 to 5. You're not that much of an amateur anymore. You've invested $2,400 in total. But now, you're not just picking random funds. You've started reading. You're beginning to understand how the giants inside the S&P 500 became cash machines, and why semiconductors are the oil of the future. Maybe you added a few fortress companies to your portfolio, names with strong dividend efficiency and enough resilience to survive crises. And once your account passes $3,500, the numbers begin to feel like they have weight. But right when you think everything is finally going well, the market delivers its famous slap. The headlines scream, "Economic collapse. A new Great Depression is coming," and you watch thousands of dollars in your account melt by 20% in a week, pulling your balance down with them. You feel that specific burning ache in your stomach. Everyone around you starts shouting, "Investing is gambling. Look, your money is gone." This is where the amateur and the professional, the wealthy and the poor, separate forever. The ones who panic sell go right back to level 1 and spend the rest of their lives telling the story of that trauma. But you do something different. You look backward, into the dusty pages of history. You study 1929, 2008, 2020. You realize that the best companies in the world have always come out of crises stronger, and that the market is really just a giant machine that transfers money from the impatient to the patient. You don't sell. On the contrary, you send that monthly $100 into the system with even more conviction, as if the world's biggest sale is happening right in front of you. By the end of the year, you begin to collect the reward of those stormy days. Your portfolio is now knocking on the door of $12,000. That is no longer just a number. It is your new identity. You are no longer just a consumer. You are a capital owner. You are a system architect. $12,000 sounds nice, but it still won't retire you. So when is the magical moment when that money starts reproducing on its own? When it begins to grow without your physical labor? At the next level, you will realize that you are no longer alone at the table. Level 3, the silent partner and the dance of compounding. Years 5 to 10. You are at the dawn of year 5. For 120 straight months, no matter what happened, you never broke the discipline. It snowed, the sun came out, markets crashed, and still, you never stopped sending that $100. The total amount that has left your pocket is $12,000. But when you look at your account balance, you can hardly believe it. A portfolio of roughly $28,000 to $30,000 is now staring back at you. And this is where you notice something almost miraculous. You did not earn that extra $18,000. You didn't work overtime for it. You didn't ask your boss for a raise. Time and compound growth earned that money for you. You now have the most loyal worker in the world standing beside you, one that never sleeps, never gets tired, never asks for vacation, and never panics. Your own money. At this level, your financial literacy reaches its peak. Maybe during those years you correctly identified the companies that would lead the AI wave or the energy transition, and you outperformed the market average. The system has now reached a point where the market is giving you far more each month than the $100 you're putting in, maybe an average monthly increase of $250 to $300. You put 1 unit of fuel into the machine, and the machine gives you back 3 units of energy. This is the first concrete fruit of financial freedom. By the time you arrive at the doorstep of year 20, the math will stop merely being your friend and start working for you. Are you ready? Because in level 4, the acceleration becomes so intense that you will start to feel like you might lose control. Level 4, the breakpoint and unstoppable momentum, years 10 to 20. Welcome to the wisest season of your life. You're now in your mid-40s. The total amount of cash that has come out of your pocket is just $24,000. But the number in your account? Brace yourself. You've crossed $110,000. Your money has grown to nearly 5 times what you actually invested. Why? Because you leased out your most valuable asset, time, to the market. While everyone else ran during the great crises of the past, you held on to quality assets. You saw that Nvidia was changing the world, that Apple was more than a tech company, that indexes were really just pricing the progress of humanity itself. At this level, the word acceleration takes on its true meaning. Do you remember that ridiculous $150 you earned from the market in the first year? Now, in a single good month, your portfolio can gain anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 in value. That stubborn $100 you still invest every month is now just a tiny paddle trying to push a giant ocean liner. The main engine of the ship is no longer your monthly contribution. It is the power of compound growth combined with the strong assets you were smart enough to hold. $110,000 opens a lot of doors. But the real miracle arrives when you enter year 30. That's when you understand that the phrase passive income is not just a finance term, it is a way of life. Level 5. The foundation of freedom and system architecture. Years 20 to 30. 30 years have passed. You are now in your late 50s. Your total contributions, unbelievably, are still only $36,000. And yet your portfolio has become a work of art. $380,000. Stop and think about that. You put in $36,000 and ended up owning $380,000. More than 90% of that money was not earned by your labor. You built it simply by standing in the right place long enough. At this level, your portfolio is now generating an average of $35,000 to $40,000 per year. Do you understand what that means? Even if you did absolutely nothing, even if you simply harvested the fruit of that original $100 seed, you could live on more than $3,000 a month. That $100 that once felt like a burden in your budget, the same $100 that made your hands shake before spending it, is now paying your rent, funding world travel, and covering the cost of quality time with the people you love. You are no longer just an investor, you are the owner of your life. And what if you don't stop? What if you keep this machine running for 10 more years, all the way to the final stage? Get ready, because in level 6, the numbers begin to push against the limits of what feels rational. Level 6. An ordinary miracle and the final victory, years 30 to 40. And now, the final scene. 40 full years. The total amount of cash that has left your pocket is $48,000, less than the price of a mid-range car in today's world. But now sit back and enjoy the result. The balance in your account? $1,200,000. Yes, you heard that right. By investing $48,000, you built a fortune of over $1 million. That gigantic, almost incomprehensible gap of $1,150,000 came from the explosion created by those 480 tiny $100 transfers, the ones that once felt insulting, once they were combined with the right strategy. That money did not come to you through luck. It came from your patience, from believing in the power of the internet in the 2000s, mobile technology in the 2010s, and artificial intelligence in the 2020s, and from your refusal to step outside the system no matter what happened. You did not just save money. You became a partner in the growth of the world itself, in the genius of humanity. And in return, you were given the greatest gift of all time: complete and unshakable freedom. Closing. The machine is waiting for you. While others grow old waiting for the perfect day when they'll finally invest $1,000 or $10,000 and end up holding nothing but regret, you did something different. You were not ashamed of how small that $100 was. You planted it like a seed in the ground. And for 40 years, through storms, crises, and moments of hopelessness, you protected it. $1.2 million is an extraordinary number. But it is not the true hero of this story. The real hero is you, the proof that small, consistent, disciplined decisions are always more powerful than big but vague dreams. Time does not wait for the right amount. Time works with whatever you give it. The machine is open right now, and it is waiting for you. The best time to make the first transfer was 40 years ago. The second best time is right now. I'm Milo. Thank you for your patience, your discipline, and your time. Now go build that machine with its first brick. See you at the next level.